So today I wanted to make a video about the 5 things that people don't tell you when you have a baby. My daughter is almost 6 months. She'll be 6 months on the 30th. Number 1, they say that your life completely changes when you have a baby for you and your partner. I wanted to reiterate on this, saying that yes, it does change, but not always for the good and not always for the bad. It's a little bit of both. First of all, your sex life, you can say goodbye to it for the first 6 weeks. Some women, they don't want anything to do with it while their body heals, and other women really don't see a difference. They just, it's what the doctor tells you that you should wait, for safety, and you don't want any clots or anything. You want to make sure that you're completely healed and your uterus has completely contracted and it's gone down to size and you're not bleeding anymore and there's no sign of infection. That's understandable. However, you and your partner still need to remain a couple. Yes, you are parents, but you need to remain lovers, man and wife or significant others, whatever you guys are. You need to keep that. So after the baby goes down to bed, whether it be for 6 hours or for an hour and a half, you need to spend some quality time. Not day night per se to leave the house and go out and do something, get a sitter and go through that charade, but just, when the baby goes down to sleep, you stay up for like half an hour and you just talk to each other. You have either an intimate moment, whether it be sexual or non-sexual, or just talking to each other, telling each other about your day and how you feel. That really does help, and it makes a world of difference, when you feel wanted and that you're still loved. And women, we need to feel that way because we've gone through this huge change and we feel like everything has changed. Our relationship, our body, our minds, everything. We went from being, a wife or so to being this mother, and it's a big role to fill. It really is. And for men, I might get some controversy on this one, but men, they feel jealous. They do. They used to be their wife's baby. They used to be the one that they would dote on. They were the one and only. And now there's someone else in the picture whom the woman loves more. And I'm sorry, I love my husband with all my heart. He's my absolute world, but I love my child more. And if that makes me a bad wife, I'm sorry, but my child comes first and always. And if I had my way, I would have them both. I wouldn't want to pick or choose. If I had to, of course, I would choose my daughter, but I'd rather have both, because in the end, when your child moves out, it's just you and your spouse again. First advice, I'd say, is just to keep the relationship alive. Everything changes, but make sure that it's not for the worse at all. Okay, so number 2. They say that you sleep when the baby sleeps. I wish that they would tell you, sleep when the baby sleeps. It's not, it's not a piece of advice. It's a must. You have to, in order to survive. You are up all night with the baby crying and changing diapers and nursing and bottle feeding and cradling it back to sleep and singing and humming and reading to, and oh my gosh, there's just so much. And during the day, you're up trying to do your chores and clean the house, and you know what? It's all going to be there still. The dishes will still be there. As long as the baby eats and sleeps, that's pretty much all that matters. So for that first month, I say the baby naps like 2 hours during the afternoon. Honey, take it. Curl up next to the baby and just take a little nap, because you're going to need it to function for the rest of the day and through the night and through the next day, and to keep your mentality. I went through 3 or 4 days straight of absolutely no sleep, to where I was literally hallucinating. So don't do that to yourself. Sleep when the baby sleeps. I'm being serious. Sorry for shaking the camera. Advice number 3. I'm on my way to school, by the way. Okay, so advice number 3, I would say, is no matter what you do, no matter how much time you have, always make time for yourself. They always they tell you, yeah, make time for yourself, but baby comes first. Yes, baby does come first, but you know what? There's always time to take a shower in the morning and get yourself clean and ready and good for the day, because you feel a lot better mentally and physically, and you're able to actually care for your child. in the evening time if you can. If you don't, that's most people don't really have time, but if you can and you have somebody there to help you, have them watch the baby and you go run yourself a bath. Go light some candles, get a glass of wine or a glass of ginger ale, whatever suits you, and just soak. Give yourself like 15 to 30 minutes of just you time, because you need it. You do. And advice number 4, when you go out with your baby and the worst fear that you have is your baby crying its head off, whether it be in a restaurant or a store or wherever you're at, and somebody looking down on you like, good Lord, shut your child up. I cannot stand that. Before, when I would see parents and they let their children throw tantrums on the floor, I'm thinking, get your kid up off the floor and teach them how to behave and have some manners. But you see a little baby, I'm talking about like a 5 or 6-year-old throwing a tantrum on the floor, there's no excuse for that. They know better and they know not to do that. I'm talking about a little bitty baby that doesn't know the difference. They don't know how to manipulate quite yet. And they're crying because they're hungry, or they're tired, or it's just too much stimulus, or they're bored, or just because they want to hear their own little long scream. Whatever it might be, is, you know what, moms? If the baby cries when you're out, so be it. Screw what everyone else says, and you just know that, it's a baby. They cry. People know this. Step outside. If you go to church, I'd say hold off on church for a little bit until you get a schedule, you get something down to, when your baby, is calm. But it is okay. When we would go to restaurants, I would bring like 2 extra bottles, so I would always have food with me just in case she was hungry, she can eat. Or I would bring an extra shirt just in case she spit up on me, I had an extra outfit to wear. You can make too, and don't feel shamed by people. You are a mother, and the responsibilities are your children aren't always going to be perfect or well behaved, especially under a year old. There's no way they're going to know what's wrong and what's not wrong. So go with it, and you just use your mommy instincts, and whatever people say, well, that's up to them and that's their own opinion. My advice number 5 is mom shaming. Bad mom. Okay, when you ask a mom, does she stay home to take care of her kids or does she go to work? You get either or. Sorry guys, my camera decided to turn off in the middle of recording and I didn't see it until I was already editing the video. So I'm going to continue on to advice number 5 of mom shaming between stay-at-home moms and working moms. Both of them are just fine, whatever you choose to do. If you're able to stay home and take care of your kids, then kudos to you. When you have to provide for them, whether it's a 1-income household or 2-income household, if you have to, go outside the household and work and provide for your family, then that's what you have to do. You're not neglecting your kids or your family. You are doing what you have to do to survive. So, advice for those moms, new moms, who cares what anyone else says? Someone tells you, yes, you should do this, no, you should do that. Take it with a grain of salt, because your parenting style is your own. And if it works for you, then perfect. If it doesn't, well, switch it up and change it up. You are a good mom, no matter what anyone else says. It's a hard job. It really is. Motherhood and raising a family is difficult. It is not easy. You have to be a wife. You have to be a mother. It's hard. And people who tell you that, oh, you have it so easy, you get to stay at home all day long, what do? They don't understand. And I can give you a list of the things that you do all day long to keep your family and household together. And those of you who work outside the home and provide for your family, kudos to you. Moms, remember, regardless of what anyone says, you are doing a fabulous job. You are a good mom. Listen to these 5 tips and they should help you. That's it for today, you guys. Like this video, subscribe. Alright, stay tuned for more. Bye-bye.